Hold on to your dentures, folks, because the American social safety net just went on a wild ride. In 2025, Trump signed an executive order that sent shockwaves through the Social Security system. This wasn't your typical policy tweak. This was a full-blown overhaul with new rules and regulations that left seniors scratching their heads. The stated goal to combat fraud and streamline the system, but critics argue it's just another attempt to gut a program that millions rely on. Fasten your seatbelts because things are about to get bumpy. Let's rewind to March 18th, 2025. Trump announces new identity verification procedures for Social Security. Sounds innocent enough, right? Wrong. If you can't navigate the online system, you'll need to visit a Social Security office in person. The backlash is fierce. Seniors groups are furious. Politicians are grandstanding. The administration delays the start date to April 14th. They allow phone applications for disability, Medicare, and SSI, but for many, it's too little, too late. The phones are ringing off the hook, the websites are crashing. And then a surprise twist. All applications can now be made over the phone thanks to new fraud detection technology. In-person visits will only be required if something fishy is flagged. It's a victory, but a bittersweet one. The damage has been done, and the system is still reeling from the whiplash. Joe Biden, never one to mince words, didn't hold back his fury. He slammed the Trump administration's handling of Social Security, calling it a cruel and callous attack on America's seniors. This isn't about fighting fraud, Biden thundered. It's about making it harder for people to access the benefits they've earned. He pointed to the initial in-person visit requirement as proof that the administration was out of touch with the realities facing older Americans. Imagine being 80 years old, struggling to walk, and being told you have to go stand in line for hours just to get your Social Security check. Biden fumed. It's unconscionable. Biden also criticized Trump's attempts to eliminate paper check payments and alleged efforts to cut off phone services for beneficiaries. These actions, Biden argued, were part of a broader pattern of undermining Social Security and putting millions of seniors at risk. He contrasted this with his own administration's efforts to fully staff the SSA and prioritize customer service. Section 4, Trump's defense, fraud, crackdown, or smoke and mirrors. Trump, never one to back down from a fight, defended his administration's actions, claiming they were necessary to protect Social Security from fraud and abuse. The system is riddled with waste and inefficiency, Trump declared. We're losing billions of dollars every year to people who are cheating the system. He pointed to isolated cases of identity theft and benefit fraud as evidence that drastic action was needed. We have a duty to the American taxpayer to ensure that every dollar of Social Security money is spent wisely, Trump insisted. However, critics were quick to point out that actual instances of fraud in Social Security are extremely rare. Former SSA Commissioner Martin O'Malley stated that fraud in Social Security is less than 0.5%, a far cry from the rampant abuse that Trump alleged. They accused the administration of using the issue of fraud as a smokescreen to justify cuts to a program they've long sought to dismantle. Section 5, public pushback. Seniors and advocates cry foul. The public wasn't buying it. From coast to coast, seniors and their advocates rose up in protest. Dozens of Democratic members of Congress denounced the new rules, calling them cruel, inhumane, and a direct attack on our most vulnerable citizens. The ARP, a powerful advocacy group for older Americans, launched a full-scale assault, mobilizing its members and flooding the airwaves with ads condemning the changes. The Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, a nonpartisan think tank, released a scathing report highlighting the devastating impact the in-person visit requirement would have on millions of seniors, particularly those with disabilities, limited incomes, and living in rural areas. This groundswell of opposition, combined with the logistical nightmare of implementing the new rules, forced the administration into a humiliating retreat. The decision to allow phone applications and changes was a clear victory for people power, proving that even in the face of an unyielding administration, the voices of ordinary Americans can still be heard. Section 6, the SSA in crisis, layoffs, closures, and uncertainty, but the battle is far from over. The Social Security Administration itself is facing a crisis of its own. Years of underfunding and staff shortages have left the agency stretched thin and struggling to keep up with demand. The recent policy changes, with their chaotic rollout and constant revisions, have only made matters worse. Adding fuel to the fire are reports of office closures, layoffs, and a hiring freeze, raising serious concerns about the SSA's ability to serve the millions of Americans who rely on it. The agency's website, already notoriously difficult to navigate, has been plagued with glitches and outages, leaving many seniors frustrated and unable to access vital information. And then there's the Department of Governmental Efficiency, a new agency created by the Trump administration and headed by none other than Elon Musk. DOGE has been tasked with streamlining government operations and eliminating waste, but critics fear that its real agenda is to gut social programs like Social Security. Section 7, the future of Social Security, a program at a crossroads. What does the future hold for Social Security? Millions of Americans, especially seniors, depend on it. Recent turmoil has heightened anxieties about its long-term solvency. The fight over Social Security is far from over. As the 2025 election approaches, expect to hear more. Both parties will vie for older voters' support. The stakes are high for Social Security's future. Stay informed and make your voice heard. Contact officials, write, and talk to your community. The future of Social Security depends on it. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share this video.